Hi, my tubies, my TikToker, Sheila True Love here with you, my darlings. There is nothing lonelier than being in a relationship with someone or you're in a marriage and it makes you feel more alone than if you were alone. Because I can recall every relationship that I've ever been in with a man, how I always used to feel more lonely than if I was literally alone. Anyway, let's listen in to a young lady here who expresses herself, and she's right. Just she can explain it better.
Settle for men who literally don't give a shit about them has to be like one of the most crushing things about being in your 20s. And I think the justifications might even be sadder. You hear a lot of women say like, oh, I want to end up married. I want to have kids. I don't want to end up alone. And our society's obsession and overemphasis on relationships of men as being fulfilling is basically a great way to ensure that you will end up lonely. Marriage is not a cure for loneliness. A relationship with a man is not a cure for loneliness. And I understand that to so many women, it is so important for them to have kids and to become parents. And I can't help but to think, like, at what cost? I wish more women knew how in control of their lives they.
I'm listening to what she says, how important it is for women to want to have children and marriages, where we know that society keeps putting the pressure on to try to keep people in these relationships and what have you. But in terms of women so anxious to have these children, what's the point? I mean, you have so many of these adult children. Look at how they treat their parents. Parents who are in nursing homes. How consistent are they when it comes to spending time with their parents? Majority of the parents, even the good parents, are being treated the same way that the bad parents are being treated. So all of this wanting to have children and all of this falling into, what society is trying to get women to fall into, it's ridiculous. It really is. All this having children, honey, for what? Half the times they don't appreciate their parents anyway.
Actually are, especially in the dating stage. People will show you who they are, and you need to just listen to that and you need to trust them. A partner who's never planned a birthday party for you sounds like a partner who's never going to plan a Mother's Day for you. A partner who's never remembered a single detail about your life is going to be one of those fathers on those like street interviews wondering when their child's birthday is. And I think it's like so sad when you try to talk to these things with other women, especially women who are married, especially older women, and they're going to tell you things like, hey, men just don't love the way that we do. Men just don't get it. Men just don't remember. That stuff's just not important to men. And I just need all women to understand that you are the main character of your life, not him. Like, honestly, imagine if we tried to explain friendships with women the way that we explain relationships with men. Like, yeah, she forgot my birthday and she decided she wanted to go out with other friends unrelated to me. Didn't even think to invite me out or anything. Told me that it was just a girls' night. But yeah, we're actually going to move in with each other next week. Like, no, I think I'm actually going to stay friends with her because she's never raised her voice at me, and I think that's really cool. And so many people will try to tell you a man's love is just different. Do you mean it's worse? Because what you're describing is something worse. It's something that you would not accept from a friendship with a woman, from a casual friendship with someone who you're not planning to have kids with, someone you're not planning to move in with. Why would our standards for our life partners not be impeccably high? Why would they not be the highest? Honestly, it's a lot to think about. Watching women settle for men who literally don't give a shit about them has to be like one of the most crushing things about being in your 20s. And I think that
I think it's the most crushing thing when you forget about being in your 20s, honey, when you're like 50 and 60 years old and you're stuck in these relationships. And like she said, there are so many things that women are willing to put up with when it comes to these men. But let their family, their flesh, their blood, let them do something like that and they'll talk about how toxic they are. At the same time, they have no problem putting up with the toxicity coming from these dusties. I'm going to tell you something also. Once you've been in a bad relationship, it's so easy for you to spot the bullery in other people's relationships. Now, you hear a lot of these women saying, well, I got a good husband. He's a good man. They consider him a good man because he didn't leave her. So what if he gives you STDs? So what if he's cheated on you? So what if he's made baby outside the marriage? He's a good man because one, he pays bills, and two, he didn't leave me. So she's like, I got one of the good ones. Oh, how sad is this? Anyway, she the true love child. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Kendra G.